Hello everyone, my name is Jack and today we are back again to talk a brand new patch for Valorant. 1.11 is live and with it comes some of Act 3's most hotly anticipated content. Skye is finally released into the wild for us to destroy the metagame with. Icebox as well finally enters the competitive Thunderdome. Left-hand view model is here to make the Counter-Strike players finally feel like they are home. And last but not least, we will be breaking down the huge changes to Cypher, Killjoy, and our good old boy Breach, as well as the huge impact on the changes to the credit economy. 1.11 is shaping up to be a game changer, and while we were certainly expecting to be able to play today, some last minute news just broke. The official Valorant Twitter account announced that the 1.11 patch is being temporarily reverted and delayed. Riot are directly calling the launch of this patch a technical nightmare, and it appears that the big issue is the first strike qualifiers that were supposed to be starting today as well. Riot were to both ship a meaningfully huge update on top of the start of the biggest tournament the game has ever seen, and it appears to have gone pear-shaped. I appreciate Riot's honesty here and not wanting to harm competitive integrity despite this being a huge blow to the casual audience. As of the writing of this video, no information has been given as to the redeployment of 1.11, but we'll let you guys know the moment we know more. With that, let's get back on track and talk about those changes that are going to be coming in 1.11 once it's released. Skye will be live and in the wild once these issues are resolved. With Agent number 13 comes another addition to the Initiator role. In the same vein as Breach and Sova, Skye is centered around scouting utility and the ability to help create entry opportunities on offense as well as defense. Her unique twist is definitely her AoE heal ability and ultimate that behaves like the twin Seeker Wolves from Spike Rush. If you like that entry support playstyle, then Skye will be a character for you to look into, and if you want a more in-depth breakdown of her kit, go ahead and check out this video when you're done with this one. Now, getting deeper into these notes, we hit something rather bizarre. Despite the community sentiment, Breach got a buff in 1.11. But wait. Stop. Before you go into hysterics, no, Breach hasn't been given a machine gun functionality to his flashes, allowing him to full auto spam flashes until the entire world goes blind. Not yet. Instead, Riot appeared to have made a small adjustment to the flash debuff as a whole. This is where things get confusing. The patch notes specifically say that Breach and Breach alone, his flash has had the full flash time slightly increased from 1.75 to 2 seconds. But in a patch breakdown video on the Korean Valorant YouTube channel, they showcased this same effect also being transplanted to Phoenix flashes as well. Even the wording on the patch notes isn't specific. We are slightly increasing the duration of debuffs for some initiator abilities, mostly flashes, is the quote. Now, at the time of this video's recording, that's my dog in the background, the patch isn't live just yet, so we can't immediately verify if Skye and Phoenix both have their flashes set to the same new duration. And I hope that Riot themselves clarify this soon, as it's quite the discrepancy to leave in. Moving away from that ambiguity, let's talk about the huge balance changes coming to Sentinels and the defensive trap meta. It's no secret that right now, and frankly since the game came out, Cypher has been bar Sage pre-nerf the single best defensive agent in the game. His utility is so overwhelmingly good that it subverts his brutal constraints on attack as well as generally forgettable ultimate. The ability to have global intel on another site without having to be physically present and some of the best stall utility in the game combined to create an overwhelming force when played correctly. Now maybe Riot have learned some subtlety after pushing Sage off the cliff, because I think many people will say Cypher gets off light here. Starting in 1.11, when Cypher is killed, his spy camera is disabled and made visible, as well as any active trap wires. Riot want to take away the autonomous nature of Cypher's kit and make sure that, like with all other agents except Killjoy, more on her in just a second, when you kill Cypher, his kit can no longer impact the round. I think a side benefit to this change is revealing trapwire locations for sleuthing attackers. Some of these Cypher mains are really bending geometry and space to their will to set this stuff up, and being able to scout it ahead of time is great counterplay in my opinion. Now it takes two to tango in the trap meta, and Killjoy certainly didn't escape scratch free. However, as someone who mains Killjoy, I think overall she is buffed in 1.11. To go along with the theme of limiting global intel, Killjoy's turret and alarm bot now have an activation range, where as long as the Killjoy player is within 40 meters of this utility, they will be active, but the moment they exit that radius, both will be in a sleep mode. This is a huge shift in how Killjoy will be played, as now you can no longer set up your utility on one site then safely rotate on defense while maintaining free intel on an unmanned location. This also hurts Killjoy's limited role on offense, setting up a turret and alarm bot opposite where the team wants to push to ward off flanks. Now with just this change, I would say Riot are in fact making Killjoy go the way of the Sage Dodo Bird, but the rest of her tweaks I think are a fair trade-off to this huge shift in playstyle. She's being compensated with the ability to now pick up and move her alarm bot and turret much more often, being moved to 10 seconds for the turret and 7 seconds for the bot. Additionally, the detection range for the bot and her nanoswarms have been reduced by 1.5 and 2 meters, which is a big change for people trying to spoil the setup. The nanoswarms are also receiving a small quality of life change and damage buff. Damage is being increased from 40 per second to 45 per second, but it may appear much faster to the person being damaged, as the damage numbers now display individually instead of in chunks of 10, making for a more smooth experience to the person being damaged. Now, it's clear what Riot are trying to do with these changes. They want the Sentinels to be direct site anchors instead of off-site anchors, diminishing the potential impact of Killjoy and Cypher while not near their utility. It's an elegant way of handling the real stalwart nature of these trap-heavy team styles. Speeding through some smaller notes, Icebox is now live in the ranked map rotation, but will not be available for pro play for another 4 weeks or 2 patch cycles. Riot have made a change to help shorten the unrated queue times for high skill, high rank players. Great to hear, but it doesn't matter to me, I'm bad. Server location is now displayed on the loading screen for all game modes, and a small adjustment has been made to combat score to factor in non-damaging assists, presumably like flash or stun assists. It's a nice change. Another small quality of life change for the practicing teams out there: a new rule set has been added to custom lobbies to allow you to, instead of playing the traditional MR12 format game, instead play a full game of 24 rounds without losing the game the moment someone hits a 13th win. This allows teams to battle out a complete game and see who won more rounds at the end of the full 24 and play in overtime if necessary. Definitely nice for extended scrimmage sessions. Now for the other big meatball on the plate in the 1.11 meal, economy changes. I'm no stranger to criticizing the Valorant economy, as any fans of my pro analysis would know. And I'm glad to see Riot finally start addressing these issues ahead of their first major esports involvement with the game. Now, flat out, I think the patch notes do a terrible job at explaining this in a non-confusing way, so I'll break it down through my lens as a former Counter-Strike player. Currently in Valorant, when you lose a round on either side but survive and save your kit, you receive the same loss bonus as everyone else who did or didn't die on your team, starting at 1900 credits. However, in Counter-Strike for the attacking side, it works slightly differently. If you lose the round but survive, you don't receive a loss bonus at all. In fact, in CS you receive no money as an attacker for saving. That's why it can be such a devastating blow for the defense to win in a convincing manner early and force that save, because it can lead to better economic control. In Valorant, however, if you don't directly kill someone, it's impossible to exert economic control or punish either team because of this loss bonus being universal to both sides, regardless of the round outcome. So starting in 1.11, if you force a player to save and lose the round, they now receive a reduced loss bonus amount of 1000 creds. We don't know if this is affected by the increasing loss bonus or not yet, or if it's universal, but regardless, this now adds an economic punishment to saving that didn't exist previously, and in a game of inches like Valorant can be, this kind of economic pressure can make or break a full buy. That concludes the big changes to core gameplay, so let's rifle through our quality of life and bug fixes for this patch. Counter-Strike players have been sent a gift from God, as 1.11 brings the hotly anticipated left-hand view model setting. Something definitely very minor to players not from CS, but I like having customization in how I approach organizing my screen space, which is why I've always been a vocal proponent of stuff like custom HUDs, and even minimal or no view model settings because of my enjoyment of those things in games like Team Fortress 2. but that's a very extreme position. I'm just glad to have left hand as an option. We have some small changes to the social side of Valorant with one-click messaging by clicking a friend's name in chat instead of having to type them out. AFK players will now appear as a way in-game after 5 minutes of inactivity as well. A nice change for the spectator experience is that team colors are now fixed for the full game instead of swapping at the half, and I'm ashamed to say that this has gotten me more than a few times while running through tournament VODs, as it can be quite confusing. Our last quality of life change is the addition of sharpening, which is accidentally shipped at the start of Act 3 but formally introduced now. It's just a post-processing effect to make the game look extra pretty, doesn't really change anything. In terms of bug fixes, a major source of the current FPS hitches during combat has been fixed. Now, Riot say that there still may be some cases of this, but hopefully for the majority of players this solves that issue. Jet will no longer be warp jumping off of ropes, sorry Jet mains. Party invites will no longer be active till the end of time after being declined, and players no longer see the spike location when reconnecting to a game, which sounds busted, I'm glad that's fixed. Dead bodies no longer cause collision or frog splash sage wall segments into the dirt when they die on them. An annoying bug is fixed that would disable the ability to queue entirely if someone closed the game client during the match found countdown. And lastly, they fixed a bug that was incorrectly displaying my gold Act 3 ranked badge when I dominate those games in unrated. I'm sorry guys, you don't have to see that anymore. And that's all we have for patch 1.11. With the new agent comes a fresh opportunity to be at the cutting edge of a developing metagame. If you're struggling to hit your shots, execute better strats, and win those games to get the rank that you want, then head to SkillCapped.com to get the help you need to dominate. So, how many of you are excited to become the best Skye main in the game? Are you interested in learning Hadouken at all? Let us know in the comments down below. While you are down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe as well for more guides like this with one goal in mind: helping you become a better player. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one.